Welcome to Fairfax and Favour's Quick Fire Questions. Now, today's guest is a Young Rider Gold medalist. She is a 5-star rider. It is none other than Felicity Collins. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is the best piece of advice that you have ever been given?
Don't compare yourself to anyone else.
Who is your horse of a lifetime?
RSH Contendor, aka Mickey, of course.
What Fairfax and Favour boot would you wear to a trot up?
I love the heeled Emiras. I've worn them with a dress as well as jeans, and I just think they're stunning. I absolutely love the over-the-knee look.
If there is any horse that you could ride today, can be current or past, who would it be?
It would always have to be Toledo de Cursa. I am his biggest fan.
Felicity Collins, thank you so much for playing along with Fairfax and Favour's Quickfire Questions.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Ratings Eventing podcast, and we have got a Burnham Market special for you listeners. And it is a show that we haven't had for a little while because I am flying solo. And we all know that the real monologuer, if that is a word, of the Eventing podcast crew would be our dear friend Sam Watson, who loves a good old Samlog. But give me a show on my own, listeners, and I am away. So monologue incoming. No, with all seriousness, I am flying solo this week, and I'm going to look forward to what is going to be a super competitive 4-star at Burnham Market, actually, because first of all, let's talk a little bit about Burnham Market, the time of the year, what we've had so far this year. So we have had such a wet spring in England, and it has meant that prep runs have been cancelled left, right and centre. Plenty of people withdrew from Thoresby before they even got there, which meant that actually the field depleted, I think it about halved. So is always the case at this time of the year. Everybody is sort of spring 3-day incoming at that level. And there's lots of horses that are Badminton bound, Kentucky bound, etc. And so actually their kind of preparation has been so up in the air with everything that's kind of gone wrong. Some horses went to Thoresby and hadn't even had a prep run yet at national level. So, yeah, the good old British weather has been throwing some certain surprises into the mix. But what it does mean is we go to Burnham Market and there will be plenty of horses that chose not to run at Thoresby that actually really do need this run. And then there'll be a few other smug people who actually held out. They slogged their way through the muddy lorry park for 3 or 4 days and actually enjoyed some pretty good ground at Thoresby on the final day. And I have no doubt that they will be feeling very pleased with themselves. So, essentially, roundabout way, what I'm trying to say is we could well see a few people choosing not to run given the time of the year and the spring and what they've got coming up. But I actually think that we will see a very, very good field at Burnham Market. Now, the Ratings Prediction Centre has been cranked into action once again. And listeners, if you would like to go and see who heads up the Prediction Centre for both Badminton and Kentucky, that is live. So all you have to do is if you type into your search engine, Google, others are available, Ratings Prediction Centre, you can go and see for yourself. And that is basically the magic machine calculates all of the different scenarios and gives you a win chance, a top 3 chance and a top 10 chance. And actually what we see at Burnham Market again is that it is a wide open field. Heading up the Prediction Centre, drum roll, did a little bit. That was the world's most pathetic drum roll, wasn't it? Okay, nobody is ever going to come back to one of these shows of me on my own if I do it like that. Laura Collett and London 52. Surprise. Well, actually, I was going to say surprise, the Badminton winners. 13% win chance. They were among those that actually chose not to run cross country. They didn't show jump either at Thoresby. So I would think that Laura is most likely going to run at Burnham Market. Don't have any inside info, so don't take my word for it. But I would imagine, obviously, they've got Badminton coming up. Laura's got Da Capo and Bling entered as well. I would imagine that the plan is certainly for a good run. And actually, we've had a good bit of rain, as we've said. So the ground in Norfolk should be pretty good, I would like to think, because we've had some sunshine too. So fingers crossed. I was a little bit surprised, actually, when I looked at the prediction centre. Not that Laura topped the prediction centre, because there's not much that really is surprising about that. But actually, that Oliver Townend didn't top the prediction centre, because he is essentially, listeners, we've come to determine over the last however many years, the king of Burnham Market. And it's become a massive, massive feature in his spring campaign as he heads towards Badminton, Kentucky. Cooley Masterclass did it Kentucky wins. Ballamore Class has won here. Kilnapredden Evo has won here. Swallow Springs has won here. All of his big guns basically have won here. Last year he won both 4-star sections. I think Dreamliner won one and Swallow Springs won another. Pretty certain, in fact. Actually, I'll double check for you, but I have a feeling that Ballamore Class went very well here last year as well. I'll double check. But basically, he has had the most incredible Burnham Market record. To put it into context, he has, in all international classes, I think got 16 international victories going back to 2008 at Burnham Market. And only one of those, I think, came in the 3-star. So, 15 of those are 4-star victories. That is absolutely enormous. In the same time frame, just going to put it in there as well. I'll crank up the Excel spreadsheet. Echo Ratings Tech Team build all sorts of fun things, listeners, and I love them for it so much. Basically, if we look down the list of other winners, Piggy March has won it once. She's won it a couple of times, I beg your pardon. She's won it with DHI Topper W back in 2011. Dargan won it here with her in 2021 as well. Kitty King has been a winner with Crystal Fontaine. Then there has been, 25 winners of 4-star sections at Burnham Market since 2008, and 15 of them have been Oliver Townend rides. I mean, that is just absolutely enormous. He just has had an incredible run of form there. So what I'm trying to get at is I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't on top of the prediction centre once again, because he has both Ballamore Class, dual 5-star winner, and Swallow Springs. And both of them are former winners of the 4-star at Burnham Market. So look, massive chance. Got to have a huge chance. Both of them are at 12% win chances. And actually, when we're looking at this level of competition between 12% and 13%, which is what Laura is on, is very, very small. Oliver, again, has both of them entered for badminton. He has a number of others entered for badminton. I believe Tregilder is actually now withdrawn from Kentucky. So there'll be no Tregilder at Kentucky. He is entered here, but he is another one of his badminton possible entries as well. So watch the space there. But I think we'll see him come out at Burnham Market, and I think he will run competitively. And I think he is certainly the one to beat, because he has got unbelievable course form. And actually, when he's run here competitively in the past, it has become a really key part of his spring campaign and has obviously served him very, very well. Who else have we got? Because there's some really fun ones in here, actually. It's a really, really good field. Piggy March and Veneer Chimera, which is so lovely. No badminton for Tilly Bean, but the Burley winner, the first time we'll see her internationally since Burley. And I imagine Piggy will go to be competitive, because she's 18. She's coming out at this 4-star level. It's lovely that we get to see her and enjoy her. And yeah, she's actually on an equal win percent chance with both of Oliver's rides, so on 12% as well. So definitely one to look out for. Izzy Taylor, monkeying around. It was actually here, I think it was here last year, that monkeying around was a proper monkey on the cross country and had a very, very early 20 penalties at some angled brushes. But we know he has all the talent. Again, badminton bound, and this will be a key part of their prep. We all know he can win on his day. He's Burnham winner. exceptional athlete. And I want to say as well, I'm just going to double check now because I have a feeling, listeners, I'm double checking. I have a feeling, didn't Monkeying Around win at, did he win? Maybe not, maybe he didn't win, maybe he didn't win. Maybe I'm totally making that up, listeners. Didn't he have a Burnham Market win to his name? I'll double check. I wanted to say in the 8 and 9-year-old year that Banzai de Loire went very well. He was third that year. Goodness me, my memory actually did serve me. I thought I was going to set myself up for to look like a proper tit then, but anyway, I didn't. No more than usual, listeners, no more than usual. So yeah, he can do a very, very good performance. We know that particularly in the first phase, but he can just also be a little bit of a monkey, as the name might suggest. All of the talent though. Who else have we got? Sarah Bullimore, Corraway, looking to redeem themselves after a rather unfortunate passing of company at Thorsby. Laura has De Capo actually in here as well. Ross Cantor, Lordships Graffalo, individual fourth from the World Championships. There's loads of big names. Dirk Schrader, Casino 80 actually is a really interesting one. The runners-up from Blenheim last year. And it's been really nice actually to see Dirk over here on British soil campaigning his horses, and it's fantastic to see them heading for Badminton as well. We don't often get to see some of the big German combinations going to Badminton, but Dirk is Badminton bound with Casino 80, and that is very much one to look forward to. I'm sure he questioned his life choices slightly when he was wallowing around in mud at Thorsby. I was scooting along on a good old EcoVolts electric bike, which, listeners, they were big supporters of our Thorsby coverage, and I have to admit, totally addicted. A bike is the new way forward at an event. And he was stood outside the show jumping warm-up, having a cigarette and I was going to say a comfort break. He wasn't. He was just having a break. Literally not holding on to the horse at all. And I was like, oh, is he okay if I go past? And he was like, yep, fine, just carried on. Didn't get hold of the horse, just off I went. And I was like, yep, hi Dirk. Anyway, Dirk, if you do listen to the podcast, call us. We'd love to have you on the show. Probably won't now, listeners, after I've announced that he was having a comfort break that he wasn't having. Anyway, I am going to get myself into a whole world of trouble on this solo show. Rosie will never let me loose on my own again. But we continue. If you've stuck with me this far, then you deserve a bit of juicy gossip. So, who else? Emily King, Valmy Biats, the winners actually from Thorsby. They're here, which come here in very, very good form. Again, Badminton bound. Flash Cooley, Gemma Stevens. Then if we look down the list, there's some really, really fun young horses. So Gemma Stevens' Johansson, who was meant to make his four-star debut for the season, I should say. He was top 10 at Chatsworth last year, then missed the rest of the season. He's in the field. Tom McEwen's MHS Brown Jack, a horse that's come up through the sort of the Le Lion d'Angers Young Horse World Championship route. Molly Summerland's Flow 7, who's really impressed up the levels at the 3-star and the 2-star level, actually, is entered. Tom McEwen's Blair Castle winner from last year, Luna Mist, is a really interesting one. Look out for her. Mark Davidson has the lovely grey Cooley Goodwood, who he actually had a super result on in the 3-star here 12 months ago. Mark is based with Piggy March down in Northamptonshire, big part of the team there. And Cooley Goodwood, if you love a horse crush, listeners, and you love a grey, then absolutely one for you. Just absolutely stunning. Really, really smart. Georgia Bartlett, Spano de Nazca, is in here. I mean, the list of top horses is just absolutely incredible. And I mean, we could go through and name them all, but actually, I would think I haven't done the exact numbers on it, but I think you could take the Badminton entry list and pretty much all of them that are based over here have got an entry this weekend, including Bill Levitt and Hubertus AC, who I was super impressed with in Montelibretti a little bit earlier on this year. Alex Bragg has got a nice couple of horses entered. Ardeo Premier, really smart young horse for him. Quinn Diva as well. Alice Casburn, pretty local for Alice actually. Burnham Market in Norfolk. So yeah, she'll be very, very pleased to have got a good run under her belt at Thorsby, and I understand the plan will be to run him here as well. So look, some really, really nice horses in the 4-star. I have to admit, Laura, I love you. We know that, but I am backing another Oliver Townend victory. You just have to be a bit mad to bet against Oliver Townend, actually, at Burnham Market, I have to say. So I'm going to say Oliver Townend is going to take the top spot in the 4-star. I'd even go as far as to say that he'll have 2 in the top 3. Might even do a 1-2. Wouldn't be surprised at all. What else have we got going on at Burnham Market? So they've got a big 3-star section. And then the advanced usually has some really fun people in as well. So Bobby Upton, actually, I'm pretty certain won the advanced last year, and she's chosen to bring that route again. Cola, who is badminton bound, I think she'd withdrawn Cannavaro, in fact, from badminton, but entered there. Harry Much's Shambeg Cooley, who went really, really well for him at Thorsby. And actually, Harry has been in really good form. He had 3 inside the top 10 or the top 12. I think it was at Thorsby. All horses went really well for him there. And he's a really fast rider, actually. The advanced at Burnham Market and the international 4-star sections are really, really tough on time. To put it into context, listeners, now I really am going to test my spreadsheet abilities, aren't I? If we look at the number of people that have made the time, it's got more frequent. Last year, 8 people made it across 2 4-star sections. 2021, there were 13 across 2 sections, 10 in 2020. Generally speaking, you get sort of a handful of people make the time. And it might be that you are probably picking up, the top few in the rankings will make the time. There was a time when, going back to the early days, so if we go back to 2008, there was a period 2011 to 2015, not one person made the optimum time. And if we have had a bit of rain, we could well see the time make an impact again this weekend. We'll watch this space. It's going to be absolutely brilliant competition. You'll be able to watch it all on H&C Plus on Horse and Country. Myself and Ben King will be with you, plus some very special guests. We've got some brilliant riders lined up to join us throughout the weekend on commentary. And it is basically going to be, I think, the Oliver Townend show once again at Burnham Market. He's had a very, very good start to his spring, actually, in national competitions. He's been picking up some really good wins and some really, really smart results with the young horses. And I think Burnham Market's going to be his first international win of the year. Watch this space. For now, though, listeners, if you have stuck with me during an absolute monologue of a solo recording, then thank you. I'm very grateful to you. Normal service will resume later in the week. We've got lots coming up for you. In fact, Spike has recorded a really, really fun Hold Box episode, which I think you'll really enjoy. And I haven't listened to it yet, but oh gosh, the stories that are going to come out in that show, it's going to be brilliant. What else have we got for you? We've obviously got Adelaide is coming up pretty thick and fast. The first of the big 5 stars coming back to back. Then it will be Kentucky and then badminton. And we have got the mother of all Kentucky shows in the next week or so. Keep your ears peeled for that. I'm so excited. Hasn't been recorded yet, so I'm not going to say anything until it is in the bank and ready to go, but you will not want to miss it. Listeners, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I always love these little chats. We'll be back very soon with more on the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast. And I'm going to go now before I get myself in any more trouble. Thank you for listening. If this is the first show you've ever listened to on the Eventing podcast, then I'm sorry you've been stuck with me the whole way through. But we have a whole plethora of excellent panelists, analysts, guests, riders, you name it, we've got it. So do join us again, and we'll be back with you very soon.